This is a Westinghouse chassis type 101 from a Columair Model 10 clock radio dating from about 1931. This is the tuner chassis, and this is the power supply chassis, and the power supply chassis is upside down at the moment because I've been doing some voltage checks. The electrolytic capacitors have been replaced. One paper capacitor has been replaced on the power chassis, and on the tuner chassis I've replaced, I think it's 11 paper capacitors, most of which are in capacitor blocks under the chassis, and I've replaced one resistor on the power supply circuit. I think I'll probably end up replacing some resistors in the tuner chassis as well. Anyway, I've just going to power it on. I had it running a little bit earlier today. I'm just going to do a little demo of it. Hopefully it's still working okay. So it's powered on. The dial light is on. One of the 35 tubes takes a while to heat up properly. They're quite bright emitter tubes. I think it's this one that takes quite a while to heat up and start emitting properly. So it takes a little while to come up to speed. There we go.
I always other skincare and body washes with hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, and collagen.
Okay, parents and grandparents, this is for you. The sooner kids learn how to cook, the more successful. I'm co-editor of Cookbook for Young Chefs. Here's some of the...
Of the industry's workforce. There are lots of efforts to put in the industry to diversify, not just gender, but...
It's got a long distance and local switch. That's on the long distance switch.
Women in leadership.
Sorry, that was on the local switch. This is on the long distance switch. It's much more sensitive on the long distance. And demonstrate the tone control.
Just for retirement. A registered retirement savings plan, or RRSP, is a useful savings tool at any stage of life. First, an RRSP may allow you to save on your taxes. It does this by reducing your...
Canada, the United Kingdom is going through this right now.
It's a very strong local station. Actually receives this without any antenna. I'll take the antenna off.
In some cases, the way it's currently defined doesn't necessarily capture...
Now, if we were to revisit that, just hypothetically, I gather this is actually working its way through the court system.
Over in the news. Given jurisdiction and bosses are ruled as gambling, well then this is gambling in a digital setting, so therefore it's...
The AGC circuit on this is actually a superhet. It's a very early superhet, and it's got an AGC circuit in it. And this actually this 24 tube is, I think, is the AGC amplifier and rectifier, and it's got a couple of 0.5 microfarad capacitors on the as part of the circuit there, as well as a couple of high value resistors. And I think the time constant is incorrect. The resistors do measure high. They should be 250k, and they actually measure more like 450k. So that would increase the time constant, and also I think 0.5 microfarad capacitors, which is on the schematic, are too high. I think 0.1s would be much better. So I might experiment a little bit with that, because it means that there's quite a delay on the AGC kicking in. Actually, when you turn the manual gain control, you've also got that delay. You turn it and then it'll suddenly get loud, and the same with making it quieter. So I'll experiment with that. But the audio quality is very good. A pair of push-pull 45s in the power chassis there.
Thank you, Ryan. It's been a pleasure.
Quick break. And he began to speak. He said, people.
Yeah, there we go. It's working good. So a little bit of troubleshooting on the AGC circuit and a few other checks, and we'll reinstall it back into the grandfather clock. So 1931 Westinghouse chassis type 101.